Thank you to the people over at Made-A-Side Desk for making this setup upgrade possible. Made-A-Side Desk provides free delivery on all orders above $50 all over the US, excluding Alaska and Hawaii. The installation of the desks was quite easy and isn't as time consuming as I thought it would be. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new, my name is Shabek, a business student and currency trader trading from home. My workspace has been constantly changing ever since I had a dual setup monitor from a few years ago to now owning this 49-inch ultrawide workstation at home. And since I'm a final year business student, I thought it was the perfect time to upgrade my workspace. Before we jump right into the video, I want to ask you guys to hit the subscribe button. YouTube set the monetization boundaries really high, so I need your help. All you have to do is hit the subscribe button to support this channel. But back to the workspace. The centerpiece of this whole setup is the standing desk frame from Made-A-Side. I've been after a standing desk for a while and was actually going to purchase something myself till Made-A-Side hit me up and asked if I wanted to try out their desks. The frame has a total height reach of 120 centimeters. At the highest level, the desk is quite stable and doesn't wobble as much. The total weight limit of this frame is around 100 kgs or 220 pounds. While there are many other standing desks out there that can support more weight, this is more than enough for the average user. The controller provided with the desk looks really minimal and the rubberized material feels really premium. I've also preset this table frame to 3 different modes, one for when I'm sitting down and working, 2 for when I decide to stand up and handle my tasks, and 3 for when I'm away from the desk and want to slide the chair under the desk. It's also nice to see the small LCD display showing the current centimeter level of your desk for easy referencing later. Long story short, I think this standing desk table is the best choice for people who want to work from home. While Made-A-Side provide a heavy duty tabletop with the frame, I decided to go with my own option and chose the Ikea Saljan frame instead. I've gone for this countertop because my old Dinman table started sagging as it's made from a cheaper honeycomb cardboard. I went for the 186cm option as it's the perfect length for my room. This Saljan top is a lot more durable and holds my £27 monitor easily. And at the price point of £40 or $70, it was the best option with durability in mind. The oak effect adds a really nice aesthetic to the room as it matches my door and wardrobe very well. But before we move on, we need to discuss the main attraction, this ultrawide beast. This 49-inch 120Hz IPS panel is a dream to work on when it comes to productivity tasks. Samsung advertises this ultrawide as two 27-inch monitors without the ugly bezel in between. With a 1800R curve, this panel does stick out a little, but it's definitely easy on the eyes when looking around. Quick disclaimer, this thing is heavy, so make sure you have someone to help you out instead of dragging it around. Coming from a triple monitor setup, I think this is the best productivity monitor. And I say this because you can handle all my university assignments and trading tasks with absolute ease. I keep one main window open in the middle, some news resources open to the right, and my Notion journal open on the left. Even with these 3 open, the windows are big enough to consume content and fill in your journals without everything feeling cramped together. I use the Power Tools application to snap my windows using the Shift button. The original Samsung version is quite bad in terms of what you can control and how the windows would look. Although I don't game a lot, the 120Hz refresh rate definitely gives you that silky smooth lag-free gaming experience. But to take advantage of the 120Hz settings, you need to use the display ports only. The HDMI ports will limit you to only 60Hz. This monitor came with an enormous stand, which just adds to the whole weight of this monitor, so I decided to scrap that for this heavy-duty monitor arm instead. Finding a suitable arm for this monitor was a whole project of its own. I was going to get a cheaper arm from Amazon, which had a 50-50 chance of working, but decided to go with the Ergotron HX instead. Shout out to Gustavo from Instagram, as he's the one who helped me choosing this monitor arm. While the arm can lift up, tilt to the side and rotate, I do wish the arm could have pushed back a little further. But it's not too much of an issue for me though, and from daily usage I found it to be okay. I'd much rather have the safety than the extra aesthetic points. The cable management provided with the arm is okay, it's nothing spectacular. The plastic cover for the wires does pop off quite easily, which is disappointing since the whole arm is perfect apart from this. But once you get it clipped in, it should be fine. Be mindful this arm does have a maximum weight limit of 19 kgs or 41 pounds, so if you have anything heavier you might want to go for a different arm. But now it's the time to look at the peripherals. Any good workspace has a trusty keyboard. Mine is the Keychron K8 TKO mechanical keyboard. I've already made a full review on this, so I'm not going to dive into the specifics. But this keyboard here has red switches. I've opted for the red switches because they just feel a little more smoother and lighter when typing compared to the brown switches. Although if I had an option, I would have gone for the MX silent red switches because I'm not a fan of hearing the clicking sounds. The keycaps on this keyboard are these average ABS plastic keycaps with a normal feel to it while typing. While there are several RGB options to choose from, I decided to keep them off because it helps the battery last longer and the keyboard looks really good anyways. I've decided to upgrade my keyboard to have the aluminium skirting. This just makes it look and feel a bit more premium. But here is what all you keyboard freaks are after. The risers on the keyboard are okay, but due to the thickness of the keyboard, my wrists did start feeling fatigued after long typing sessions, so I've recently picked up this wooden wrist rest from Keychron. While I'm no fan of having excess stuff on my workspace, this wrist rest is a must if you decide on working long hours with this keyboard. After adding this, I could immediately feel the difference in comfort, and after long typing sessions I no longer felt my wrists feeling fatigued. While on the topic of wrist rests, we have to talk about this thing that's been hyped up all over Instagram. To be fair, the hype is real. The guys over at Delta Hub kindly sent me these to try out, and I must say I don't think I'll ever be using my mouse normally again. The glide on these new Carpio 2.0 is amazing. The new material on the foot slides around much better compared to the previous 1.0. The rubber palm padding feels a lot more comfortable as well for the palms, and the locking mechanism on this version is really good. The previous 1.0 version would just fall apart very easily, but I think this is a must for all mouse users as it'll improve your palm position. I know you've already seen it, but this wouldn't be a complete setup tour if I didn't mention the MX Master 3. This mouse is just the king when it comes to productivity. I've made several videos on this, but to put it short, its side scroll wheel being my volume adjusting tool is amazing, and the extra thumb button acting as my screenshot tool comes in clutch for my workflow. Not to forget its infinity scroll feature. It just feels superior scrolling around with this mouse compared to others, and that's why I've mentioned it quite a lot on this channel already. Also, before we move on, the battery life on this mouse is amazing. From a single full charge, I could see it last for a few months, and it still surprises me how long the MX batteries last. All of these peripherals rest on my felt desk mat. I got this desk mat from a company called Neat. This dark grey merino wool felt desk mat adds a really nice touch to my workspace. I picked this one up in the 90 by 30 centimeters, and I think it holds my keyboard, the wooden wrist rest, and the MX Master 3 perfectly. While this merino wool felt pad is quite rough to the touch, or inaccurate for gaming, I think it serves my purposes of completing assignments and opening positions quite comfortably. This does move around though quite easily, so it would have been nice to see a rubber bottom padding. Oh yeah, I previously forgot to mention that my monitor has no built-in speakers. While that is quite unfortunate for an expensive monitor, built-in speakers tend to be rubbish anyways, so I decided to collaborate with the guys over at Edifier. They were kind enough to send me a pair of bookshelf speakers to add to my workspace. While I'm no speaker freak, the bass from these speakers are incredible and the sound is very clear, all while looking really good on my desk setup. It does come with this remote for easy control over my audio. I usually keep the remote on my desk for quick access as I tend to use these speakers every day. Although the speakers can connect via a wired connection, I decided to stick with the Bluetooth connection to limit the wires running around my desk. Since we're on the topic of cables, my cable management consists of the Ikea Signum tray, a wire tube from Ikea, and an 8-way extension drilled to the bottom of my desk. I use the Signum tray to throw all the wires on and route them neatly, while I use the wire tube to hide away all loose cables and make them look a little cleaner. While I plan on upgrading very soon, I'm still using my old i5 1050 Ti PC, and it's holding on quite well for now. The 16GB of RAM is okay to handle most of my tasks, but I think a 32GB or even a 64GB RAM would be the sweet spot to run Resolve editing platform and have my creative softwares open at the same time. I also hope to get my hands on an RTX 3080, so if you want to see a video of me building that PC, then hit the subscribe button below. Let me know in the comment section what case you might want me to build it in. Apart from that, my PC isn't anything too fancy, it just performs well for now. My desk looks pretty minimal, and you might be wondering where is all the loose junk that we all seem to have. Well, that's when the Alex drawers from Ikea come in clutch. I organized all of my drawers in sections, and this just helps me be a lot more organized and clean within my workspace. The felt drawer organizer plays a big part in keeping my space clean while adding a nice visual organization within the drawers themselves. I used to use the Alex drawers to support my old desk setup, but that's not the case anymore as I have my countertop mounted to the standing desk frame, so now I use these solely for storage purposes. Now moving on to how I light my desk setup. I use this BenQ Screenbar Plus that helps achieve the right amount of lighting in my main focus zone of the desk. Especially when natural light in the UK during winter is very bad. This screen bar will help keep my space well lit. The bar sits on top of my monitor very well using their specially designed mount. This is rubberized, so it definitely shouldn't damage your monitor. The screen bar plus is controlled with this really satisfying dial. The dial can adjust different temperatures and control the brightness of the screen bar. The puck itself is very small, so it can easily be tucked away somewhere on your setup. This is such a cool addition to my workspace. And a huge thank you to the team at BenQ for hooking me up with this. While the BenQ screen bar adds the perfect amount of brightness to my workspace, I had to bring over some RGBs. I decided to go with the LifeX strips as they seem to be the most reliable and easily controlled strips out there. These lights are very bright and accurate in colour. Using the LifeX app, you can choose from a million different colours and a dozen different lighting effects to change up the mood. But I prefer to stick with this lime green, which adds a nice vibe to my workspace and contrasts with the oak countertop very well. But having such a large desk, the lighting was bound to be uneven in some areas, so I collaborated with another brand called Moonside. They provided me with this amazing lamp that fits my workspace really well. This lamp is also controllable using the app, but to fit my theme, I just leave it on this lime green setting. The last piece to my workspace is this HyperX Quadcast. I use this mic for all my voiceovers, Zoom calls, and online voice chats. This mic has to be the best USB mic around with volume adjustments, an inbuilt pop filter, a shock mount, and 4 different polar pickup patterns. I tend to use my mic on the cardioid pickup pattern as it seems to be the best for voiceovers and streaming. This is all hooked up to my Throne Max mic boom arm. This has to be the best looking budget boom arm out there with a built-in cable management system. I like the minimal look from the boom arm and how easy it is to pull the mic in and push it away during meetings. The joints on this boom arm can be tightened and loosened depending upon how you like it. And guys, that's my 2021 trading and study desk setup. If you guys enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and definitely don't forget to subscribe because I want to create more content for you guys, but I need confirmation this is going to work out. Until then, I'll see you all in the next video.